Cursed hotel. Lisa, yes, I'm here, she said in low voice. And as she said, they all heard her laugh and leaving each other's hand. All they screamed, getting up from their places, and they all ran outside of the room. They all were running in corridor, but suddenly they all stopped only to see Lisa's body there on that wheelchair. They all started crying hardly while Jisoo falls down on the knees. An hour later, they all were sitting at hall. Jungkook, guys, this is end. We all gonna die now. Taehyung, yes, we all gonna die now. I never thought something like will ever happen to us. He grabbed his hair while crying. Ryan, we all guess wrong. She don't want anything from us. She only wants our life. Jimin, there's no point of us staying together. She'll find us anyhow. Ryan, guys, we will survive. We have to survive. We just have to survive for few hours more. Jungkook, what's the time? Jungkook, 3:55. Ryan, what time it is? Jungkook, Ryan, I said 3:55. He said, and Ryan stands up from her place. Ryan, Jungkook, do you remember when you met me in front of the corridor? Something very strange happened, and maybe there is no logic to it, but at that time all the clocks in the corridor were showing same time 3:55. Exactly the same time 5 minutes to 4. Jisoo, that is so strange, Ryan, and this is not my imagination. And Jungkook in the proof. Do you think it might mean something? She said, and Jungkook too gets up from his place. Jungkook, maybe yes, guys. It's like deja vu. Like when we are watching something but we think we have already seen it, where we foresee things that are about to happen, just like a vision. Taehyung, I can't believe. Can something like this happen? Ryan, we will know this only after going there. Jisoo, guys, we can be saved. Let's go. And they all went to that place where Jungkook found Ryan when they came here and where Ryan saw her reflection. And they all entered on that room. Ryan, yes, I was here. I was standing right here in front of this bookshelf. And suddenly their eyes went to a book, occult. And Ryan went and grabbed that book. Ryan, it is written in it that every soul is attached to some things or person, and every evil soul gets its spiritual power from the thing it is attached to. Jisoo. So it means that Hana draws or release all her power through some means. Jimin. But how will we know what those things are? Ryan, we can find out, everything is written here. Jungkook, what it is? Ryan, this is a mantra that we have to chant while holding each other together, and Ryan read that mantra. And they all went to hall and sits down on the floor in the middle of the hall. and while holding hands, they all started to chant that mantra loudly. And while they were chanting that mantra, they can hear groaning sounds while all their things started to fall down and lights start blinking. Their loud scream was heard, but they did not stop and they keep chanting that mantra. But everything stops as they heard loud sheesh sound. Shh, shh. And they all turned around and they all heard another voice. Hana laughing. Hana, Hana, if you don't listen to us, then you know what we will do. But Hana keeps laughing loudly. They all gets up and walks to the room where this sound was coming. Hana, listen to us. Hana, stop. Miss Joy, come fast. Hold her tight. Hold her hands tightly from there. While they all enters in room and they scream were way too loud and they can hear it clearly and their eyes witnessed as they saw a girl sitting on chair while getting electric shock while few nurse was holding her while a doctor was injecting something on her neck while she was screaming her lungs out. And they all were standing there watching all this while the girl who was sitting there was screaming her lungs out, but suddenly she started to laugh loudly. And because of the too much loud, the electric machine broke down. While all the doctors got scared of her and moved aside while she kept laughing out loudly, and everything stops. And Jungkook walks forward to that machine and said, Jungkook, so all the powers are in this machine. When she was being given shock treatment, she reversed the entire process and flow with his power. Taehyung, and since then all her power is in this machine. Jisoo. So if we destroy this machine, then maybe we can go out from here. Why? But how will we do this? How will we destroy it? Taehyung. There must be petrol, kerosene, or something in the kitchen. Jungkook. Yes, we should find it there. Jimin, we have act smart on this one, okay? Jungkook, Hana will not let us take this machine out under any circumstances. So we gotta do something. We are five. Let's split up, okay? Let's two of us stay here and the other three of us go and out and search, okay? And they all nods. Jungkook, Taehyung and Ryan, you both stay here, okay? While me, Jimin and Jisoo will go out and search, okay? And let's find something to burn this thing, okay? And then Jisoo, Jimin, Jungkook walks out of the room and went to kitchen. Jungkook, guys, let's split up, okay? Jisoo, you go left side and Jimin, you go right and while I find something here, okay? But guys, stay close, okay? And they both nods and walks to other side. And suddenly Jisoo hears some whisper voice and she looks there. Breaking news. Last night, some friends went to Hotel Grandiose in an inebriated condition but did not find any way out. Heard that there the spirit of Hana killed them all. And Jisoo starts walking towards her as she heard her whispering all this. Lisa, Suga, Jin, Jenny, and Jisoo. And when Jisoo saw someone sitting on a chair and reading a newspaper, she started coming towards her. Then, boom! And suddenly, someone puts hand on her shoulder and she screamed, Jimin, bro, what happened? Jisoo, there was someone reading newspaper, she said, crying. Jimin, where? There's nothing there. Jisoo, she was sitting there. Jimin, Jisoo, let's go. And he dragged her with him. But as they walked out, Jungkook and Jimin gets up from floor. Jimin, Jisoo, Jungkook. Oh shit, where did she went? While the other side where Jisoo was walking with that Jimin, she suddenly noticed that he don't have any shadow and she suddenly stops there and she runs back to kitchen and hides there. And suddenly she heard Jimin and Jungkook voice, but she did not come out as she thought they are not them and that Hana and she did not come out and Jungkook and Jimin walks out of the kitchen. When she turned around she heard sitting on roof and she jumped on her. While the other side where Taehyung and Ryan was suddenly the door of room broke and fall down while Taehyung and Ryan holds each other hands getting scared and they heard Jisoo's voice and they looked at each other. Jisoo, Taehyung, please help me. Please, something happened to Jimin. Taehyung, where are you? Please, where are you? And Taehyung started to walk forward, but Ryan stops him. Ryan, don't go anywhere. But Taehyung keeps walking and walks out. Ryan, Taehyung. And suddenly, Ryan hears Taehyung's loud scream. Ryan, Taehyung. She shouts and grabbing her phone, she too walks there. Ryan, Taehyung, where are you? And while walking, she falls down, scream. As she saw the young body there, and she gets up and run back to that room. And she sits down on corner, hugging herself. And few minutes later, Jimin and Jungkook walks inside the room and did not saw anyone. So Jungkook called out your name. Jungkook, Ryan. And hearing his voice, you gets up from your place and runs to him, hugging him tightly while crying. Jungkook, where's Taehyung? Ryan, he's dead. He's dead, Jungkook. But where's Jisoo? Where's Jisoo, Jungkook? Jimin, where's Jisoo? And they both shakes their head and they all hugged each other crying. And suddenly Jungkook looks at that machine and said, Jungkook, guys, we can't lose hope now, okay? We can't give up now. We gotta do this, okay? we have destroyed this dash machine. Jungkook said, and he walks to that machine and starts pouring kerosene on that machine. And as Jungkook was pouring kerosene on that machine, they heard groans. And Jimin pulled out the lighter from his pocket, trying to burn it as the sound was getting louder and louder. Jungkook, Jimin, fast, please fast. Why, Jimin, please fast. Jimin, this lighter. Suddenly, the door of cupboard, which was behind Jimin, opens and pulls Jimin inside with full force, while Jungkook and Wayne scream. Jungkook, Jimin, Jimin. He starts banging the cupboard door, trying to open it. He tries to pull it, and while pulling it, he falls down, and they both heard laughing. And she suddenly appears in front of them, and they both scream and run off the room. And while running, they both came to halt, and holding each other's hands, they start looking here and there. Suddenly they heard voice. Hey, lovebirds. And they both turned around, and their eyes widened as they saw their friends was standing there. Jin. Hey, you both, what are you doing there? Lisa, let's go. We are waiting for you both. Cam, fast. Hearing them, they both took step back and fall down on something, and the lights start blinking. While Jungkook looked at Ryan, and he puts his hands on something and smells it. Jungkook, Ryan, it's oil, he said, and they both starts looking here and there, and they nods. And they both gets up while Jungkook runs to the blinking bulb while Ryan pulled out a cloth from that oil container, and Jungkook throws the bulb in oil, which caused it to catch fire. And Ryan put that cloth in the fire and set it on fire. And they both again runs to that room while Hana keep throwing things at them, and they both keep running, and suddenly Jungkook falls down and he could not get up. Jungkook, Ryan, run, you gotta do this, run. Ryan nods, and she continued running to that room, and from backwards Hana throws a big chair on her, and Ryan falls down and the cloth too, and then Hana fainted that fire. Ryan, no, no, please. And she heard loud laugh while tears keep falling from her eyes, and she turned her head other sides, only to see Jungkook lying there faint or maybe dead. Ryan slowly gets up, and she keeps trying. That cloth catches fire again. She keeps blowing it, while suddenly the fan beside her turned on, and she looked at it. And then that cloth catch fire again, and she saw Mr. Lee, the owner of this building. Her eyes widened. He nods at her, and the slowly faded away from her sight. While Vine again holds that cloth on her hand and runs to that room, while Hana tried her best to stop her. And as soon as she entered in that room, she said that fire to that machine while the screams and groans was heard and that thing blast in front of her. Vian was standing in front of main gate seeing it opening its own, while she falls down on her knees crying her heart out remembering her parents. But Vian, her eyes witnessed as soon as she heard this voice. Vian, Jungkook, saying she gets up and turned around and seeing him standing there. Vian runs to him, throwing herself on him, hugging him tightly. Vian, Jungkook, I thought all of you, she said, crying hardly while he did not say anything. He pulled out from hug and cups her cheeks, and suddenly he turned her head 90 degrees and she falls down on floor. And the door closed again with loud thud and he turned around and walks away. And the short sweet voice again echoes in whole hotel. Ringa, ringa roses, a pocket full of posies, a tissue, we all fall down. The end. I'm really sorry if I ruined the ending, but I really like this ending too. Thank you.